Hi guys, welcome to a new episode of Chat and That, which has been like ages. Here with me today is CampfireChris. What's up, Chris?
Hello, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you for having me.
No, it's good. You may know Chris from some of my streams and maybe a video. I'm not sure. I'll have to
I
professional
I
start.
was in the what was that game where we were doing the recording like we were essentially streamers but not streamers. Well, I forget what it was.
I'll
It
be
wasn't
I'll be
Lethal
honest.
Company and it wasn't Repo. It was
Oh, content warning. Yeah.
content
Yeah, so you'll know
warning.
Chris from content warning. There's
That
so many
was the
threads
one.
going on here, guys. But so this is Chris. Chris is another content creator that I've met through Derek. Chris, give me an intro. What do you do? What do you think? What do you
Hell,
say?
hello, I'm CampfireChris and I play games and stuff. Uh okay, that's the general one that I used to use whenever I first started streaming. That was my whole thing because I was like, I don't know what to say here, but I play some games. I do a variety of games. I started off as it was Pokemon. It was like Soul Links and the typical thing that you would get out of the normal streamers because I started streaming after watching a lot of original 151. So it
Mm,
became a lot of like Pokemon content and trying to emulate that a little bit,
yeah,
doing the Nuzlocke, doing all that. And the thing, the weird thing about it is I started a lot of Pokemon, but my very first stream was Star Fox 64.
oh,
So
interesting.
I've always been a Nintendo 64 guy. And yeah, that it was one of those things where I was trying to learn. One of my buddies, Dags Koopa, shout out, haven't talked to him in years. Dude disappeared, came back, was like married and whatnot. You know those
Yeah,
friends
yeah,
that
yeah, of
just like
course.
they vanish, they come back, they have a whole new life. You're like, oh, who is this person? He recommended having a set list of questions like off to the side, and that would be what carries my content.
Yeah,
And I did that, but it became too scripted, if that makes sense, because I just had questions, and I
yeah.
only had 7 questions.
Okay,
I can't remember what they were, I just remember that I had 7, and
okay,
those were my talking points.
okay.
And you know how fast you burn through those 7 topics?
Oh, super quick. Like sometimes I come prepared to a stream. I'm like, because I do like a little intro. I talk for 5-10 minutes. I'm like, I want to talk about this one thing real quick, and like maybe I'll have 2 or 3 of those things. But then I'm like, oh, it's only been 5 minutes, and I've just literally listed off everything I want to talk about. 100% get
You
you.
you've talked about everything that you wanted to. So it's my very first stream, I burned through all 7 of my topics in 20 minutes.
Mm.
20 minutes, and I'm like, "I don't know what to talk about." And so the rest of the stream is just gibberish,
Yeah.
but that became my identity. I can just talk in gibberish where I just whatever is in my head is what comes out, and it's one of those things that made me a little bit more transparent to the viewers.
Mm.
I wouldn't say I'm very successful at the streaming thing because I don't put a whole lot of time, like dedicated time into it.
Yeah.
I like to do it. I just don't have the time to make it a what's the word?
Something you do like all the time. Like,
A
yeah, yeah,
consistent thing.
yeah,
But I do have my moments like this week. I think I've been pretty good. And I really found that when you find those good collaborative projects, it really helps. Because for a while I got burned out on collaborative projects. Me and Derek, we did so many in a row starting back in 2020.
yeah.
We met in a server. We were just two random guys that met, and we were both like, hey, neither of us have played Black 2. Pokemon Black or Black, I think it was Pokemon Black.
Yes.
And so we're like, hey, we're going to do a co op.
I
Would you
like
like to
that.
do that? And we did that. We came together, and then that was the start of just a really good friendship. We did every project together.
Yeah.
But after so long, you get burned out on that, and you have to do your own stuff. You have to find your own identity.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do more than Pokemon because I really like horror games.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the weird thing is I don't do horror games on the channel a lot. So yeah, I have, um, Freddy Five Bear on the channel,
Yes.
what have you, that we that we do. But I liked, and you've probably heard of it, the game Visage,
Yes, I've heard of
right?
Visage, yeah.
Oh, I I think starting back in 2016, I followed this game through development where I was like, oh, if they get this much crowdfunding, that they're going to be able to build this, and it's going to be a really good photo realistic game that is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And I followed it, and I was so ready for it to come out. And you want to know, I never played the game. I've not played the game yet to this day, and I want to, and I never find time
Oh my
to
god.
just sit down and play it. I know,
When
it's
did that
crazy.
come out? Because it's been out for a
20
while.
2019,
Oh my
2020,
god.
maybe?
Yeah, you. Hey, it's October in a couple months, so I'm gonna
It
say
is.
make a point to play it this year.
Make a point, 'cause I was so dedicated in following to Inception, where I was like, to all my friends, "You should play this game," and
Yeah.
then I just never did. Never did.
I'll tell you what though, there are games like that I've done that too as well. Um, oh god, what was the game that I was like? I was following it for years and years, and as soon as it came out, I was like, "Meh." It's not coming to my head at the moment, but like if I think of it, I'll literally just blurt it out. But like, oh my god,
It was this.
I'm currently kind of experiencing that with Assassin's Creed: The Black Flag remake. Um,
Oh,
you know me, I love pirates, and I love Assassin's
that's a
Creed
good
4
one.
Black Flag. Like I love everything about it. But what I don't like is I don't like modern Assassin's Creed. So I'm really kind of worried, like as soon as it comes out, if they're gonna like just have it be like the original game but with better graphics, or like are they gonna do all the RPG stuff that I don't like? Uh,
Yes, they did mess. I really liked Assassin's Creed from the very first one.
yeah.
The thing that killed it for me isn't necessarily the storytelling, it's the control scheme.
Mm,
Control schemes can kill a game for me,
yeah.
where the first couple, so you have 1, 2, Brotherhood, Black Flag, the one about the Civil War
The
era.
third one, which
Yeah,
is like the
yeah,
sixth one. Yeah,
that one. Yeah, um, where the control scheme was simple,
yeah.
it was elegant, and it was easy to use. And now it's very weird. I'll even bring it to the most recent Assassin's Creed that came out. I started to play it, and because the control scheme is super weird, and it won't be any spoilers in case you're trying to play this game, but
Mm.
where attack used to be square or triangle and dodge was circle and this and that, the attacks are now R1, R2, and I can't.
Oh
I
yeah,
just
that's like Ghost of Tsushima. I think that does that as well. But that, again, that's a completely different game.
It is, and I love Ghost of Tsushima. It's one of my favorite games,
Yeah,
but I was learning that control scheme as its own individual game.
yeah,
Whereas Assassin's Creed, I know what I like in Assassin's Creed, and they took that away from me.
yeah.
They gave
Yep.
me the ability to place buttons wherever I want them to be, but
That's not. It's not the
ultimately,
point, right? It's not the point. You
no.
want to open the game and play it as it kind of is.
Right.
When I fell off of Assassin's Creed, it was when Unity came out, so they did the big refresh of like all the engine and all the controls, and when they did the free run up and down thing, that's when I was like, nope, I'm tapping out. And like I can't say too much because I'm working on a little project at the moment. Spoilers.
Oh.
I'm talking about Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and I'm gonna go over as to why I really don't like that system. But again, no spoilers from me at the moment. Um,
No, no spoilers at all.
there's one thing, Chris, though, that I know about you, and there's you love speedrunning, or you have been speedrunning. You've got some speedrun records. You wanna maybe talk about that a little
Yeah,
bit?
absolutely. I have 5 speedrun world records right now,
Damn.
all Power Wash Simulator, all, it's actually 3 person, so it wasn't an individual effort on those. It was, myself, my buddy Professor Pie, and then my other buddy who's also a streamer, Water Buffalo.
Mm.
Um, and we all got together and was like, "Let's just The in honesty, nobody owned the record in the first place. They were just empty, and we were like, free real estate. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go take those records. So we did, and they've held for almost 2 years now,
that's really good. Yeah.
which is insanity, right? Um, but I got my start in speedrunning through Mario 64, going back to original 151, where he started doing all those Mario speedruns.
Yeah.
I kind of took inspiration from that, and I started to do it as well. I only did 70 star because I have a gap in knowledge where I can't do BLJs. So I was never able to do 0, 1, or 16 star.
Yeah.
But also 120 star was, or 120 star, I should say, because you do start that one with a BLJ. But 120 star was just too long,
Yeah.
because if once you get so far into the game and you have to reset, it's so draining. It's just, it takes a little bit out of your energy. It takes a little bit out of your life, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I stayed with 70 star. 70 star was basic. You weren't allowed to do BLJs. So hey, now I get to be a little competitive and try to get into the scene where I can do these strats, where I can try to catch up.
Mm.
No, will I ever be a 46-minute 70 star speedrunner? No, never, not in
Yeah.
my life. But I did manage to get myself down to an hour and four.
That's really
Um,
good.
Other games that I've sped run, you have Still Wakes the Deep, which,
Yeah.
in my opinion, is a game that lacked. It was overhyped and then it lacked. And the reason that I did a speedrun of that game and held a world record for, I don't know, 8 hours ish, um, which I have a funny story to go along with that. But Still Wakes the Deep, a very good visual game,
Yeah.
overhyped, was just a walking simulator. Not a whole lot happened. And when you spend $60, you want to get the most out of the game.
Of course.
So
Yeah.
how am I going to get the most out of this game? I'm gonna do a speed run. I bet I can be the fastest to walk through this game. And that's 100% what I did, and I did hold the record. Now, on speedrun.com, there is the ability to reach out and DM somebody, and this person, I don't know who they are, wherever they're at, they reached out and they're like, "How do you record your speedruns?"
Interesting.
Gave them a whole, like, breakdown of what I do, how I record it, what I use to record it, things like that.
Yeah.
Did not get an answer back, nothing at all. And then 8 hours later, my world record's been beat
Oh, no way.
by by, like, an hour. It was insane.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, but that's how it should be,
Yeah.
right? We should
Yeah.
all be helping each other to break these records, to break through to the next level, to help to get there. Because some people are gonna know strats that you don't know, and that's what it's about, is just trying to help each other. And I think that's one of the most difficult things that came to be with content creating as a whole. And I don't know if you felt this, but
Mm.
where you see somebody play a game and you're like, I really want to play that game.
Yeah.
But now you're worried that you're stealing an idea, if you will.
Yeah, yeah, no, I 100% get that. Like, you get into that point where you're like, this looks like a lot of fun. I really want to do this. You know, I want to put my own spin on it, maybe, so I don't feel like I'm copying someone too much. Like, 100% get that.
Exactly. And that's one of the tough things to figure out.
Mm,
How do you get around the I'm just stealing people's ideas, and how do I have my own original gameplay idea? And if I do this, how do I handle the comments, right? How do I handle the chat, really?
yeah, if someone's
Which,
like, oh, didn't this looks familiar, something like that. Even if it's like a joke, you kind of got to
right.
try and play it off, or you got to try and explain like, oh, this looked really fun. I wanted to do it myself, and like at some point you kind of have to just be like, this is straight up an idea, and like I
Mhm.
saw this. Here's the guy or the girl that I'm kind of you know not ripping off, but taking inspiration from, and you just kind of naturally put your own spin on it because you're a different person. But at the
Yep.
same time, again, you'll still have that doubt, won't you? You'll still have it in the back of your head being like, oh no, what have I done? I'm copying someone. Like, you don't
A
want to have
hundred
to do
percent.
that. Yeah.
And if you found that that entertaining, you found their stream entertaining, you thought that the content was entertaining. How do you put your own spin on it and be entertaining in your own way
Yeah.
without trying to be too much like them when it comes to speaking, when it comes to the jokes that you make, to the things that you will even allow on your channel?
Yeah.
What are your limits? What are your lines? And how do you make it your own? And I think that was one of the toughest things for me to learn. Now, going back to the chat and how we were talking about that, do you think, in your opinion, that being a VTuber changes how people engage with your content compared to somebody like me who has my face cam, or even
Mm.
somebody who goes no VTuber, no face cam, no nothing. They're just kind of pictures on the screen
Y-
and they're just a voice behind the gameplay.
Yeah, 100%. I've talked about this a few times on stream actually, and like, there's this guy that I follow on YouTube. He's called Soviet Wumble. I don't know if you know Soviet Wumble. Um,
I don't think so.
he's someone who streams all of the time and he makes YouTube videos. They're very highly edited YouTube videos. They're really good. They're really funny. Um, and he doesn't have a face cam, and no one knew what he looked like for years. Um, but the thing about him is that because he carried it so much with his personality, people were engaged, they were interested, they were laughing along because it was funny. It was just him and some friends messing around. And he brought up this point where he was talking about VTubers. He's like, well, are they characters? Are they, what are they doing? And someone was explaining about how VTubers work. And kind of naturally, when people are seeking out content to watch, they want to look at a face. And, like, this is something that I've noticed as well. A lot of streamers have a face. They have someone
Right.
to look at. If you don't have a face, you're usually doing something quite exceptional that it kind of makes up for it, you know? So, like,
Right.
again, Soviet Wumble, he's very funny. So people watch him to be funny, you know? You can get these people who do, like, challenge runs or, like, some speedrunners who don't have a camera. You're not watching it to look at a person. You're watching it for the content itself. So, like, you're
Right.
watching a really good speedrun of, I don't know, Mario Sunshine or Mario 64. But there's no camera. But you're not interested in the camera. You're interested in what's going on.
Right. You don't care. You want the content. You want to see how do they beat their personal record? Do they
Yeah,
things like
exactly.
that?
Yeah, you're kind of like engaged in another way. But when it's kind of when you're a person and you're just like a regular a regular Joe Schmo or some Jane Doe or something, and you're just sitting there and you're streaming and you're playing a little game and you've not got a face cam or anything, you've not got a VTuber model, it's just the game, and if you're not engaging, you're not trying to, be funny and make jokes, no one's going to want to watch you. But naturally, as people, I think we are drawn to faces, right?
Yes.
Now, when it comes to me, I hate being on camera. As I could be having the best time of my life, and if someone pulls out a camera, I'm like, oh god, this is the worst time of my life. I hate being on camera. Hate getting my picture taken. I hate being recorded. I think I look like a goober. So I'm just kind of like, I really want to do like content, but a lot of these people have faces. And I think it was in 2020, so like height of COVID.
Right.
We're all stuck indoors. We're all online,
Of course.
and suddenly this whole new kind of subsection of the internet called VTubers show up. There are these anime girls who are like playing games and they're all laughing and stuff, and you're like, what this is real? How is this real? And I looked into
Yeah, it
it.
was terrifying.
Yeah, because I used to stream before without a camera and without a VTuber model
Mhm.
or anything, and I didn't get a lot of people who actually watched or was interested. So I look into it and I'm like, oh my god, like regular people can just do this, right? So I kind of, my first model was kind of garbage, but like I was like, oh, I made a little first model. But like when people now go into a stream that I'm in, and they kind of see not my face, but like a face, right? They've got a
Right.
face to look at and to kind of connect with, I suppose.
There's
That
something to interact with.
Yeah, exactly. And it obviously now these days I've got my phone, my old phone is like my face tracker, so you can kind of see my emotions in real time. You can see like how I look in real time. I still think I look like a goober, I'm not gonna lie, but you know, at least it's a pretty goober on the screen. But like for me, who hates being on camera, it was such like a saving grace, you know, because I was like, I really want to do streaming. I've always wanted to do streaming, but I just never had like the confidence to. I didn't have like I guess the self esteem in my own image to do that as well. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if that answered your question or not. It's kind of a
No,
long-winded
it did.
explanation.
No, 100% it did. Absolutely. I just, it was one of those things. I was always afraid of the VTuber or even the faceless screen, right?
Yeah,
Because you never know what you're getting behind that because it's really easy to put on a persona.
yeah,
It's really easy to hide your frustrations, to hide when you're having a bad day, things like that where you're like you go to a like you were talking about the anime VTubers where they do a voice changer and you never know who you're getting.
yeah,
Um, However, there are two people that kind of molded me back the other direction where I was like, yeah, VTubers are good. VTubers are good people, and that would be Debo the Viking, which
yeah.
rest in peace, buddy. He started streaming. He was one of my good friends within the community. I met him back in 2020. He passed away while I was deployed.
Oh, damn.
Unfortunately, yeah, it was like a heart attack or something. But he did the VTuber thing, and he had such a loving community to where he was so himself,
Yeah,
but still being a VTuber. I knew what he looked like, and I knew the conversations that I had with him, and he was such a caring guy. But
yeah,
he had the VTuber model, but that didn't change who he was. And I'd say that it goes the same thing with you, right? You're you.
yeah.
You're unapologetically you. Like
Well,
you don't you don't really hide a whole lot except for you don't like to be on camera.
yeah,
It's more of you get those authentic conversations. You get the natural conversations. It's not all made up stuff. You don't have it scripted. It's not I need to be this person.
yeah,
You go into the stream and you're you. You just have a VTuber model. And I think that's one of the for people who are watching, right? And if you have this thing where there's a lot of VTubers out here that do get a bad rap, not like you, but the other ones that actually have excuse me, that have headlines and they're making the news for this and that.
yeah,
Like it gives everybody a bad rap, but you could say that about just about everybody.
yeah. 100%. Like you
Yeah.
just look at Minecraft YouTubers. You
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
like
If you play Minecraft,
yeah. I don't know, buddy. That's a bit.
yeah.
You
If
know,
you're a
like
Minecraft YouTuber, you're probably
the
yeah.
the general thing is, I don't stick in the VTuber like. I'm not very switched on in terms of what's going on in the world, especially in the VTuber world. I just kind of,
Right.
I'm just in my own little corner, and I know a few VTubers, like I know Neo and I know Star, and like,
Right.
you know, we're all, I like to think, nice people. That well, they are at least anyway. But you know, like, um, I don't really see what goes on in like these bigger indie VTuber communities. I don't particularly watch that much Twitch these days either, which is kind of ironic. Um, but there was
I
this,
just put stuff there.
yeah,
I just
exactly,
I just I just put myself there, but I don't watch it. It's
yeah,
not for
no,
me.
it's
But
it's my attention deficit brain. I can't keep on it unless like something is going on and my brain's like, ooh, what's this? Pretty colors. Um, but like there was this big scandal with this indie VTuber called Cinder recently, or semi recently at this point, and there was like a whole hour document or like 3 or 4 hour documentary on it, I think. don't know if that was that long actually, but anyway, it was a big video that I basically listened to, and I'm like, oh my god, what the heck is going on in the VTuber community? Like, how do I not know about this? And it kind of became a little bit of a meme in my streams.
Yeah,
But like, that's the last thing that I know happened in the VTuber community. I don't know really anything else that goes on. So like, literally for me, being a VTuber is kind of a means to an end. Like again, I don't like being on camera, and this is a good in between. It's like, well, I'm not a face, but I have a face,
right,
you know. So yeah,
right. No, you do it well. Like I said, you are great. I love being around you. Um, I mean, even just doing content together where me and Derek had done it together for a while, right? And you'd think that we'd have a lot of chemistry, but then you look at things like Supermarket Simulator,
yeah,
where you and I are just kind of fucking off in the corner. They're actually scanning items, or Peak, where
yeah,
Derek goes off on his own and it's you and me trying to survive our way. Neo did their best. Neo was there, and Neo is great. But during that run where Neo died, it was just our spirit guide. And
yeah,
it's you and me making it to the top. Like you could see where it's a good gaming chemistry,
yeah,
a good collaborative chemistry, and that it means a lot, right?
yeah,
Because there are people where you get in and you're just like, I do not mesh.
mm,
I don't understand their humor. I don't understand what they're talking about. I don't there's a lot of inside jokes that I don't really understand, and being able to get into that ground level where you're part of that, it's meaningful. I'll
yeah,
say that, but it's definitely hard to find that too,
yeah.
because you never find that good person. Examples, I'll say, like, I work well with Day Day Man.
Oh,
So I do
okay, yeah,
that Saturday night soul drink thing where we play Pokemon, we do a soul link essentially,
yeah,
but it has drinking rules. And it takes a very specific person to be able to pull that off and to make it run to a point where it doesn't become belligerent
yeah,
or an entire mess, and knowing when to be able to turn it off so that you can just get out when you're like, maybe you've had too many to drink and you're like, oh, maybe it's time to turn this thing off and just go to bed.
yeah. I need to clock out over here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's finding people that can read the room with you like that
Yeah,
is very important. And I kind of you miss the mark there doing your own content. Where for me, my example here is my Mario 64 speedruns.
yeah,
I used to open up a call where you would just have 19 million people talking in your head while you're trying to do a speed run.
okay, yeah,
And it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Because when you're trying to do strats, I need silence.
yeah,
But at the same time, it was really hard to balance doing the speed runs because Mario takes a lot of focus and not reading the chat.
yeah,
And it became a joke on my channel that I would just ignore the chat. And it hurt my feelings unintentionally.
yeah,
They didn't mean anything by it. It was just a joke, right? But whenever I was focusing on this thing and then I realized that, oh, a lot of chat has happened. And now I'm going back and I'm trying to read a lot of things and catch up.
yeah,
And it became a whole thing where I started to focus too much on the chat and that my speed run started to struggle.
yeah.
And that's
Because
why I opened up the call and was like, hey, y'all read the chat for me. I need to do this. But
yeah,
when you have a bunch of rowdy folks in the call,
it's one or the other. You can't have it both
yeah,
ways. Yeah,
correct. And so you have to find the good balance where you have maybe one person in the call who is handling the chat for you, where they can read things out to you so that you can hear it, but
yeah,
they're not constantly talking with other people,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. So I
And I, yeah, I had to figure that one out.
that's quite difficult when you're just kind of streaming in general as well, but like I did a speed run of Breath of the Wild, and it was awful considering how quick any percent is these days. I mean, like,
Oh yeah.
what is? I'm just on speedrun.com right now. Um, so the world record is 22 minutes and 57 seconds, right?
Yeah.
And mine was 4 hours and 59 minutes, but it's still top 500. So,
Hey, a
um,
run's a run. Yeah.
the thing is though, that wasn't with any kind of like glitches besides maybe the bullet time bounce.
Okay.
And I learned how to do a bullet time bounce like as soon as that strat was found. I was like, oh, I'll learn that, and then I just didn't, I didn't do anything else. But like I had to record that off stream because me and my friend Wind, we were racing against each other and we just couldn't do
Right.
it. And so we kind of like it was for a video basically, and I came back to it later on. I'm like, right, I'm gonna do one. I got to Hyrule Castle in an hour, and the rest of the time was just me trying to do the bosses because it had been so long since I had done them. I didn't know how to do them, so I was just like learning on the fly. It was bad. It was bad.
Right. Trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I
But
I definitely started. So I started with Mario 64, and it was because you could learn those strats pretty easy. The Lakitu skip, bomb clip,
mm,
owless. Everybody knows those things, and you can watch any of the speedrunners and kind of learn how to do those cannon lists. You just have to figure out timing, camera movements, things of that sort,
yeah.
and it's easy to learn. And you've done how many speedruns of 64? I can't remember. One? Was it one or two or
Well,
three?
I'll I'll admit to you now, Chris, I
Okay.
have not done a
Yeah.
speedrun of Mario 64, but
Oh, fair enough.
I watch a lot of speedrun content. So I've watched Mario 64. It's not my go-to speedrun game. Like my go-to speedrun game would be like Mario Sunshine. I love Mario Sunshine
Okay.
speedrunning. If I could speedrun it, I may learn it one day. I don't know, but if I could, that would be the game I want to do. But I
It's
love
another
watching
one, yeah.
speedruns. So I know the strats, and I watch a guy on YouTube, Panan Koek. He does a lot of like technical deep dives into Mario 64. So I know a lot about the game, but in terms of me actually on the stick controlling it, I'm awful. I'm terrible. So I'm failing left and right, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, but I'm failing left and right to do these things, these simple things. And I'm like, guys, don't worry. I'm just coding my way to the credits using Ace, or frame perfect reading the sign, or like that death was intentional so I could walk, yeah, like that kind of stuff.
Right.
So it's not
Okay, fair
it's
enough.
not a speed run per se, but I pretend for comedic effect that I am the greatest speedrunner in the world, and cheese, who's cheese? It's all about
Oh, love
Rozzachu.
cheese.
Yeah,
Love cheese. Cheese and Simply?
yeah,
Oh,
those guys are good.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just a little bit of a spoiler. I've never actually speedran the game. Derek wants me to speedrun against him, but I think I'll probably lose, to be fair.
I'll teach you what I can.
Yeah.
I have plenty of strats. I'd have to break it out again and kind of run through the motions myself
Yeah.
again, but it's easily teachable.
Yeah.
The main reason that I stopped is because when you reset over and over and over again,
Yeah.
and you're trying to do these motions, right? You're pulling the trigger, you're jumping, you're doing triple jumps and spinning the controller, all what have you. My hand started to hurt so bad
Yeah.
that I could only go for so long before I was like, I'm tired. I can't get to the next level. I can't break my. I started to get into my head where I was like, I'm not getting better. I can't beat my own time.
Yeah.
I need to just stop. And, but I kept going. I kept fighting. And a lot of the rage is what brought people to me because I'm really, really funny whenever I am just in rage mode.
Yeah.
Which it's good, it's entertaining, but when you're actually trying to get better at something, it's not good for the mental, but
Yeah.
it's also not good for the physical either because like I said, you're hitting buttons, you're moving your hands a lot, you're resetting, you're doing it over again. The other thing is to even get these strats down consistently, you're going and you're practicing. So you're making a save state and you're doing the move and then resetting and doing the move again and then
Yeah.
resetting, and you're working. I worked on Owlless for 3 straight hours one day.
Oh.
So you're just sitting there doing the same movement, right? The same
Yeah.
movement, doing the same lineup, doing the same camera setup to be able to perfect this so that when you get into the run, it's second nature.
Yeah.
But that's not how it works, because whenever you start to do something so long, you're like, no, I just want to do the run. Let me just do the run.
Yeah.
And you get out of that I want to practice mode to let's just do a run. And now you haven't practiced enough to be better at anything. So you're not getting any better. It's a balance. It's a really tough balance, but you have to be careful with, like I said, your hands. Your
Yeah.
hands are the things that take the toll for these speed runs, especially Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine.
Mm.
Those games, even Odyssey,
Yeah.
those games are going to destroy your hands if you're not, you know, taking a proper rest, if you're not thinking about your own health. The other ones that I do, like Call of Duty World at War, that was a one-off. Final Fronts, it was a one-off. I ran it in, I think it was 4 hours as well.
Yeah.
I had the world record because nobody else had it for a second, and then about 6 months later, I got beat. So I'm second. I'm second right
That's
now.
not bad. I mean, that's
No,
second.
yeah, it's still second. It's still second.
Yeah,
But
I
other
oh sorry.
games like Resident Evil 8. So Resident Evil 8, not one of my favorite Resident Evils, but a really easy game to speedrun. Because
Yeah.
once you get that new game plus and you're just killing everything in one shot, it's all about timing. It's
Yeah.
just making sure that you're hitting the everything that you can at an optimal pace.
Yeah.
And those were really easy to do. So you're doing them in like 50 minutes, 53 minutes, I think is my personal best
Oh, that's not bad.
ish, maybe 54. And then you're just sprinting through the game. And those don't actually take a whole lot with your hands, except for maybe the aiming. But if you have the one shot gun, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
But Mario 64, it's all diving and jumping and hitting the strats, moving the camera, doing this
Yeah.
and that,
Yeah.
and trying to figure that out.
You're
Yeah.
constantly like inputting stuff on the controller, and the triggers on like a GameCube controller, for
Oh
example,
yeah.
they get tiring, you know, like um
Oh yeah.
when I did my Mario Kart challenge, um it was kind of like a speed run because I was obviously trying to do it as quickly as possible just to save myself some sanity. But like most of the time I was using a GameCube controller, and by the end of it my wrists and my fingers were hurting, and I had to stop
Yep.
and be like, I have to come back to this because I can't do it in one session because it's been 8 hours and I want to pull my hands off.
Yep. Absolutely. And yeah, that just gets tiring. You're beat, and people. It's really hard for the viewer to understand where you're at, right?
Yeah.
Even talking, you can say I'm tired, but what they want is to see runs. They want runs. They want you to be better. They want you to get there. They're supportive.
Yeah.
Everybody is supportive. It's just about like where where do I draw the line, and when is enough enough, right? And
Yeah.
that's why I've fallen off of the Mario 64 speedrun train and just kind of fallen into normal gameplay type things. My whole thing right now is Friday will be Mario Party, Saturday will be my
Yeah.
Soul Drink, and those are my two guaranteed streams per week, except for this week because I'll be gone. But
Oh yeah, you're fine.
those are my guaranteed ones, and they can kind of interchange, right?
Yeah.
If my buddy's not available on Saturday, okay, we push to Friday. Um, and then I push Mario Party to Saturday. But at least I get those two specific things
Yeah.
in, and they're easy games to play. They don't take a lot out of me. There's not a whole lot of energy that really needs to go into them. But sometimes you do want those things that challenge you. You do want those games that make you think, and that people are going to come in and be like they accomplished something, or you're working towards something, right?
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it gives you some sort of sense of accomplishment. Which as Mario Party, if you win, great, and it's cool for a night. But things where you get world records and things where you really show that you have the capability to do things. Whenever I nailed Lackey Skip and then Bomb Clip, it
Yeah.
was a glowing day for me.
Yeah,
Like, I'll remember that shit because I was like, "Yo, I finally hit this," and it took like 20 minutes off my time. It's crazy.
yeah. And that's
Whenever
the
you hit
thing as
owlless
well.
or canonless, yeah,
You can't fall off of it either. Like speedrunning is such a you have to have your finger on the pulse with it. You
yep.
have to be up to date. If there's a new strat, you have to learn it. If there's a new route that's slightly more optimized, you have to learn it. You
Mhm.
really have to be on it. And like that's just from the outside looking in most of the time because again, I watch a lot of speedrun stuff and
Mhm.
I follow Mario Sunshine and like it was stagnant for years and then someone just like beat the world record and then suddenly there was this explosion of runs and they had to change up how they did like the routing as well because it's like
Yep.
otherwise there's just no way that it's going to go down much further and
Right.
everyone has to adapt to be competitive.
I think the big thing for Mario 64, I'm gonna switch back to the
Oh
64
yeah,
game because
you're
I know
good.
that one. But um, they had what was called carpetless.
Mm,
That strat came out like 2 years ago,
yeah,
I want to say, and it was game changing. Like it went from uh, will we ever see something under an hour 37 to this might be really possible because we found a new strat. Now every runner that is big, you're talking cheese, simply,
yeah,
Ouija, green Sweegie, what have you. All these people are now out there running it and they're trying to get it down and they're trying to be the one that holds the world record because if you can perfect everything to the frame or as
yeah,
close to the frame as possible and you set that record, you know you're going to hold on to that record for a while and that the
yeah,
other runners are going to have to grind out practices, 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 and eventually they're going to burn themselves out and it's going to die off and then it's going to come back. And I think that's what all speedruns are is
yeah,
the speedrun dies off for a little while. Oh, and then it has a resurgence, right? Because somebody's going to have figured out something or they're going to have picked it up sooner than the rest of everybody.
yeah,
Okay, now we pick it all up and now we're getting records again and now it's back to dead a little bit. And
yeah,
it kind of goes back and forth in that sense. I love me a good speed run. Like I said, it gives me a sense of accomplishment.
yeah,
But there's also good to be had whenever you're just playing a horror game and something just scares the crap out of you, and people laugh. It's funny.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I
Um,
think I think with Five Nights at Freddy's, it was the jump scares. The jump scares where you're like, no, 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 and then they get you, and you're like, I knew it was coming, but then it got me. So
yeah, yeah. On a similar vein, I'm much less of doing speedruns, but I'm more interested in doing like challenge runs, like the Nuzlocks and all that kind of stuff. I had this. This is before I met Derek. This is before I met you. But I used to do The Last of Us Part 2 permadeath. Per
mm,
act. And I've talked to you about how much I love The Last of Us Part 2. I'm not gonna
yeah,
have too much of a rant here, but I was doing like a per act permadeath. So like if I died, I could lose maybe up to 3 hours, right? And I was
right.
streaming it all. I was struggling on like a couple of them, and then there was like an act where I like breezed through one, and then I got to Abbey day 3 Seattle.
Hmm.
And um I ran that thing so many times. I know that act back to front, basically. Um, but at the end of day 3, and I think I talked to Redbeard about this as well, but at the end of day 3, there's Ellie, and you have to beat her up, right?
Oh, that battle, that's just the most annoying one ever.
Yeah, and
As
I
Ellie
died.
just scurries around everywhere.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
not even counting the amount of deaths I had leading up to her on the island, or with Tommy or
Mhm.
anything like that. Purely on that boss fight got me to drop that for the longest time because I got to phase 1 and I died once or twice trying to figure out because again it had been so long since I'd actually done that. like, You know,
Mhm.
it took me a couple times to actually be like, okay, this is how you do phase 1. There are no bottles, so you have to just be sneaky and you have to go up behind her. And then on phase 2, then you have to start finding the bottles, and she's got a shotgun. She can insta kill you. So that took like 4 or 5 or 6 tries, and I honestly lost count. I'm just guessing here.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, finally, phase 3. And there was this one phase, this one run. It was like the god run, right? I had a brick. I was hiding in a corner. Ellie didn't know where I was, and she was about to walk past my location and go in the other direction, but where I had line of sight, and I could throw a bottle at her. So I threw the bottle, but when I did that, I think Abby stood up, and so Ellie spotted Abby, so she dodged it, even though the bottle connected to her and exploded on her, because she had spotted me and dodged us in the process of dodging. It didn't count. So when I was already running towards her to finish her off,
Oh
she
no.
just macheted me, and I lost about 3 hours of like that whole stream basically was just done. I'd never gone back to it since. So now
I'd
when
be
I get
so
to that
upset.
point, I know when I get to that point, I'm like, I, I even like just playing casually, I'm just like, oh god, not this again. Like this little basement in the theater is my purgatory. So like I 100% get that because I was learning new strats and I'm learning how to do this, and I wasn't even doing it for any competitive reason. I just wanted to do it, and then yeah, that took the wind out of my sails. But I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it
Yeah,
back.
like when you,
TBC.
yeah, when you accomplish it though, you feel so good.
Yeah,
You feel so you achieve something, which is really weird in gaming, right? Like
yeah,
gaming is a nothing. Like you're gonna finish a game, life's gonna go on. You're probably gonna that console is gonna go out of date, what have you. You're gonna lose that progress, but for a little bit there, I achieved this. I didn't think that I could achieve it, but I showed that I could do this.
yeah,
And I think that's very, very important. I think that's something that maybe communities don't really understand, which in my opinion, and this I'm going to open up another vein of conversation here, where gaming communities have become more hospitable
yeah,
to people. They become more welcoming and more supportive, where I feel in the past, we're talking probably the 2010s and maybe even early COVID timeframe, where gaming was more of a competition than it was, oh, we're playing games together, we're all achieving something together.
yeah,
In the past it was, oh, you're doing this, well, I need to do this better than you.
yeah,
And it competition does breed success in some cases, but supportiveness also breeds success, because when you work together and you are working towards a common goal, whatever I learn, you also get to learn,
yeah.
as long as we're working together correctly. It's one of those things, and I think that gaming has become, well, gaming communities have become more welcoming. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I 100% kind of get where you're coming from. When you start a new game and you kind of find the community that's attached to it, you all already have something in common. You already have this game that you all play together, and all you like or dislike or whatever. But like, there's that commonality there, isn't there? Like you've got
Yeah.
something to kind of springboard off of, to kind of make friendships with. You'd be like, oh, you really like this game? Oh, me too. Da da da. And you kind of talk about that, and then it just naturally, as people, we're curious about other people, and so we will naturally just be like, oh, okay, cool. I'm into this other thing. And they're like, oh, I don't know about that. Tell me about it. Or you're into that thing. Oh my god, I'm into that thing as well. You
It yeah.
it kind of just blossoms that way, doesn't it? But like,
And
100% agree
yeah.
with you. Like early gaming, like early mainstream gaming was really competitive. Like you've got your like Dota, and you've got CS, and you've got um
League.
League, and you've got
Yeah.
Unreal. Like there's a lot of those older games just had a lot of, well, you're either playing it by yourself or you're fighting against other people. But now it's
Right.
like, even in games where you're fighting against other people, like Overwatch and like Valorant and like CS again, you can
You're
still
right.
come together and be like, this is something I really enjoy about the game. you can appreciate those kind of things even if they're your enemy, but you have that like little community that you can kind of integrate into.
Right, you still have a good time. You still build upon each other. Because
Yeah.
I enjoy me some Overwatch as well.
Mm.
I'm a Bastion guy.
Oh yeah.
I love my robot with his little bird.
Yeah.
Like, don't come at me and please don't steal him.
Yeah.
It's, um, but yeah, I think that it grew into a more friendly thing. I will say though, and hopefully Nintendo doesn't hate me for this. Pokemon Unite kind of ruined that a little bit. We started to regress whenever Pokemon Unite came out. At least this is my opinion.
Which one's
Hot take,
Pokemon
maybe.
Unite?
That's the one that's kind of like Dota or League of Legends, where you start on two sides and you try to
Oh,
score goals. It's a
yeah.
MOBA, yeah.
Okay. I'm with you now.
Um, and I know that a bunch of the friends that I had in the community fell off because they got so hardcore into this game that whenever you played the game, they were disrespectful to you.
Yeah.
Like, you played it all the time. Like, I don't have time like that. I have an entire life that I live. A lot of us have jobs that we go to during the day, so I don't have time to make myself perfect at a MOBA. And I think we regress a little bit,
Yeah.
but then you had your hardcore Unite folks that stayed and still play it, and then everybody else just kind of fell off and was like on to the next thing, and we didn't really worry about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you have your Unite community, cool, enjoy that. We're gonna go do whatever is the next big thing. And I
Yeah.
think that's what I appreciate about our group, right? You, me, Derek, Neo,
Yeah.
is that we play different things, but it's all things that you typically have to work together in.
Yeah.
They're not very competitive games. They're things that you should be working together in. Do we always work together in those games? Go
Mm.
watch the Peak stream. No.
Yeah.
But there are other games where you're just working together. We're finding games that you're working together, and even if we do have competitive ones, it's a fun environment. Even when we did Buckshot Roulette,
Yeah.
right? That was fun.
Yeah.
There was no aggression towards each other. We all had funny moments and we did all sorts of stuff and it was a good time. And a lot of content creators lose that.
Yeah.
You lose that it's about your friends. It's about the people that are around you that help build you up, that really make the community great. And that's what we should be doing, is molding our communities. That's how we grow and become better content creators and be able to put ourselves into a position to where we do become people who could do it as a full-time thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to do it as a full-time thing, but I know that there's several YouTubers out there that they get to, or even Twitch, right?
Yeah.
You get to 1,000 subs on YouTube,
That's huge.
and suddenly now you're quitting your job and you're putting everything into this because this is what's going to be successful.
Yeah.
And I've never agreed with that mentality.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll share this. I don't think a whole lot of people know this. Maybe Derek knows it, but I used to have a really good friend that I started content creation with.
Mm.
Um, I'll even put his name out there. Cold as Night, right? This
Yeah.
was this was the dude. This was my boy from Canada, and we started content creation together. And he got, I think it was like 300 or 400 subs because we were growing together. We were probably about the same area.
Yeah.
And he got so into analytics that
Oh, yeah.
every call felt like a business meeting.
Yeah.
And I understand the business part of it now. I mean, I'm like 5 years older, what have you.
Yeah.
I've grown a bit and I understand that to be successful at this, you do have to pay attention to the analytics, but
Yeah.
you have to know a time and place and you got to have the friendships. It
Yeah.
can't all be business transactions. Whenever I reach out to you, it can't always be about, oh, what's our content, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes when we're in a call, it should just be, how was your day? What are you up to? How's
Yeah.
the new job?
Mm.
Just knowing people, being able to interact that way, and it got away from that. It was strictly, oh, this video got this many views, this video got this many likes, this video did this, and it was all business. It was all,
Yeah.
and I couldn't stand it, and I I fell off.
Yeah.
I don't exactly remember the entire argument that happened, but I think I did this very inappropriately. So I'm gonna take the blame here. I'm entire ass, and it's, I'll accept this, I'll own this, and if you are this person, you should. I went to his sleep lock, I think,
Okay. Yeah.
and I said something, and then he retorted back, right?
Yeah.
And then I went off the deep end and was like, unmod me, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Not necessarily have a nice day. I said some other flavorful words, but I was out, end of friendship, never talked again.
Yeah.
Right? It was never a thing. And I definitely didn't go about it the right way.
Yeah.
But
Hindsight
also,
2020. Yeah.
yeah, hindsight 2020, maybe I should have talked to him offline and been like, hey, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Instead, I let everything kind of bottle up and build, and then snapped and
Yeah.
was just done. And I did that a lot in my early content creating career.
Yeah.
And I've done it much, much less recently, mostly because I know how to talk to people now. I
Yeah.
am more comfortable with having those difficult conversations of the, I didn't necessarily like this, or why did this happen this way? And then
Yeah.
getting an answer and accepting the answer for what it is, not for some deeper underlying feeling that I'm having because I've let things really grow, right?
Yeah.
Grow into an anger versus just a, yeah, an irritation.
Yeah. You let that
So,
resentment build up,
yeah,
and no, I don't think any of us are perfect. We have
no,
those kinds of things that we wish we could do differently, or wish we could say differently. And I've certainly had a couple of times when, since I've started like streaming properly, that I've been like, I wish I had done something differently. I wish I had
yep,
not said that, or did this other thing that I should have done. And like, I think like you've made a point of like, instead of just doubling down and being like, well, no, actually, no, they're in the wrong. Like, just accepting like, hey, I might have been the dick, and
yep.
I've learned from that, and I've kind of grown as a person. And like, I'm not gonna go too much into it, but I watch some people online, um, who don't do that, and I can't stop watching them because it's like a car crash. I can't look away. It's like, when will you ever admit that you're in the wrong here? Like, when will you admit that you did stuff wrong? So it's
He
good
never
to
will.
have that, like, in you, that you've kind of identified it and been like, well, okay, I wish I did it differently. It,
It took a long time to get there too, and I had to start in my personal life with that.
yeah,
For example, I just this week, or no, not this week, last week, I had just a bad day, right? I had a bad day at work.
yeah,
I came home. One of my buddies like, "Hey, let's play this game." And I was like, "Okay." And it's a tactical shooter, and I was like, "Okay, let's play this game." And nothing was really going the way that I wanted it to,
yeah,
and that then included that kind of bled over to the game, but I was trying to use the gaming time to relax, but I wasn't letting myself relax, and
yeah.
so I was just being a complete dickhead about everything. And I'm sorry, I don't know if I could say dickhead
Oh no,
on
you're
the
fine. You
podcast,
can
but
swear. It's fine.
okay, all right.
Just don't say any
Um,
gamer words, please.
no, 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 you're good, you're good. I was just, I was a dick, and we finished up, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to bed. And the next day, I was like, wow, I really didn't need to be a dickhead to my buddy,
Yeah,
and sent him a text message right away. It was like, hey, I'm sorry about yesterday. I was a dick, but I'm going through some things. Here's what's happening.
yeah,
So I did kind of pawn it off. I shouldn't always say, oh, there's something going on in my life, right?
yeah,
Sometimes it's just, hey, I messed up. I wasn't cool. Are we cool?
yeah,
And that worked because that keeps your friendships alive. Because if you don't do that, people do hold on to those things.
Yeah.
You might not know it, but they're gonna hold on to that moment when you were just a dick, and then whenever you need something, they're gonna turn on you, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh, wow, they are not cool," and then that builds that anger. But if you're able to
Yeah.
just accept, "I made a mistake,"
Yeah.
I think that's ultimately better. And I think for content creation, it's equally that.
Yeah.
I think it's you're gonna do a collab, even if you and I or me and Derek have the best working relationship ever, right? There's always going to be a stream that you're like, that didn't go as well as I thought it would.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be a game that you try to play together that you're like, well, that's not what I thought it was. And that's not how I thought we would be playing this.
Yeah.
And then if you just hold on to that, now every project becomes like that.
Yeah.
And that actually happened with me and Derek, I think, for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Derek had a little too much to drink and had our own fight, but that's another story for another day and off the podcast.
Yeah.
Uh, but we let things build up, and then later on, you're like, "Hey, I messed up. I said these things," and he's like, "Yeah, I messed up as well. I said these things, and now we're good to go."
Yeah.
Um, and the only reason we don't do as much content together now is because of the time zones. It's time differences
Yeah.
suck because I can't seem to figure out British summertime and my time. I don't know the hour differences ever.
Are you on Texas time?
No,
Are
I'm
you
in Mountain.
East
I'm
time?
I'm the hour before that.
Oh, like Pacific?
Mountain, the one
Mountain.
after Pacific.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's 7 hours.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because I
Except for
Star's also at Mountain Time as well.
except for that time that daylight savings time hadn't happened.
Yeah, but it had for us, yeah, because we switch clocks at different times, don't we?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
No, it had happened for us, and it hadn't happened for you. So I showed up for a stream, and the stream came. You popped in, and was like, "The stream's not for another hour." I was like,
yeah, I
"Oh."
remember this. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, but like I completely like I do sympathize with what you said before, and it's like I've had a experience like that. Over the last 6 months, there was like something that just transpired, and like we got on stream, and it just didn't go the way that I was kind of expecting it or planned to, and things just felt really off and weird, and I afterwards I was just kind of like, damn, well, that sucked. Like, as much as I can put on a face or anything like that, afterwards I was like, I don't really want to do anything right now. I just want to go to bed. And but like actually,
Yeah,
I did reach out, and I was like, hey, we're cool and everything. I just didn't appreciate this, and they were totally receptive to that. But in the
right.
past, I had a friend who was like he was not a very nice person to me towards the end, but he was a nice friend, and I think that's why I kind of hung on to that a little bit. But
Yeah,
eventually, he just became like antagonistic towards me, and like he would hold things over me and stuff like this, and I couldn't bring myself to be like, you're kind of being a dick, like,
right.
and I let that resentment build up, because what else was I meant to do? I'm such a people pleaser. I'm not very confrontational. I don't want to cause any harm or anything like that, so I just let it build up, and then eventually at one point I did just snap, and I was like, bye, you're gone. And I'm not proud of that, and I wish I just kind of brought it up and saying, I'm cutting you off. I didn't do that. And like, again, hindsight 2020, I wish I had done some stuff differently, but in the circumstances that I was in, also I kind of do acknowledge that like there was not really much else I could have done either. um
That's true. Yeah.
because
I
you
I I agree with you. So with when you're talking about non-confrontational, I was also the same way for a little bit, but it
yeah
was a mindset change because not everything it is confrontational, but it's not confrontational in a bad way.
yeah
But for the viewers out there, the ones that are going to listen to this podcast, the hardest thing to do is just stand down the problem,
Yeah.
where you look it in the eyes, you're like, "This is a problem, and I need to bring it up so it doesn't become a bigger problem."
Yeah.
And what a lot of us do is we're like, "Oh, this is a one-off situation. It'll change. It'll change.
Yeah.
It'll change." And what happens? It never changes because it becomes an accepted attitude or an accepted way of conducting business
Yeah.
or what have you, right? It's an accepted way that you're talking to me that I don't appreciate.
Yeah.
And being able to have those conversations just like you and I had talked where it's hard. It's hard to
Yeah.
just stare the problem in the eyes and be like,
Let's sort it
"Get out
out.
of here."
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
sort it out. Um, but yeah, no, I do appreciate that, and we've got a little bit philosophical, I think. I think.
We did. Sorry, I took us down a deep road here.
Oh no, you're good. Don't worry. Like I said, we can talk about anything.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was the same with Redbeard as well. We got very content philosophical, and we were talking about like D&D and like how people like as creators we have that anxiety in us, and we went down that whole path. So don't worry about that. But yeah, I'm gonna just start wrapping things up here. But Chris, do you have anything that you're planning on doing that you've got coming up that you're excited about? Anything personal, anything content wise? Let me know.
Ooh,
What's going on?
let's see. Of course, we have Donkey Kong Bonanza that came out as of today, as of recording this,
Yeah,
that
during
I'm
literal
I'm
recording.
super excited to put out there. Hopefully, should be doing a soul drink of that, so be on the lookout for that. Um, and then I do have another project with you that should be dropping literally right after us getting off of this recording, which will
Yeah,
start on my channel, but people won't see this for however long, so go check it out.
the obviously Chris's links and stuff will be in the description. So, I may even link it to the thing that we're about to do as well, which is pretty cool.
Ooh.
Or I mean, by the time they watch or listen to this,
Oh, yeah.
then they're gonna know what it is. Chris is gonna be
Awesome.
critiquing my Mario 64
Oh,
gameplay.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah.
Also, thanks for having me. I do appreciate the opportunity to talk and just
Oh, it's
jam.
good. Um, you're welcome back anytime you like. Obviously I'll just say let someone else go on first, but then again we don't have that many episodes, so hey, I might be calling you back sooner rather than later, but
No, I'm
um
coming back.
I do appreciate it though. It's I like what you've got to say, and we obviously hang out quite a lot, so you got to catch Chris pretty much on my streams and some of my upcoming videos that I need to edit and I need to get around to doing as well. But Chris is going to be around. I'm going to be around. But yeah, a nice hour-ish of chatting. Chris, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank people for watching, or for listening, or your preferable mode of content digestion.
And subscribe and or follow
Oh yeah, and do those
Rozzachu on
things.
Twitch and YouTube.
Yes, do those things. But yeah, thanks, guys, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next episode of Chat and That in about 3 years. Goodbye.